Here's a question I get asked all the time, in boardrooms, at conferences, and even by friends and family. When will Africa be as rich as the West? It's a simple question with a brutally complicated answer. Because if you just look at the numbers, the dream of catching up feels almost impossible. But what if we're asking the wrong question? What if the future of African wealth isn't about catching up to the West, but about building something entirely different? That's the story we're going to unpack today. Welcome to Africa on Monday, your weekly YouTube channel simplifying African news and amplifying context to deliver insights that matter. Let's start with the hard truth. The average person in a high-income country like the United States or Switzerland has a GDP per capita of over $80,000. In sub-Saharan Africa, that number is less than $2,000. For Africa to catch up, it doesn't just need to grow. It needs to grow at a rate that is almost unprecedented in human history, for decades without stopping. From 1990 to 2019, Africa's real GDP per capita grew at just 1.1% per year. During that same period, China's GDP per capita grew at an average of 8.6% and India's at 4.5%. At that rate, Africa isn't catching up, it's falling further behind. Even with the most optimistic projections of 4 to 5% growth, it would take centuries for many African nations to reach the income levels the West enjoys today.
But that's the old story. The new story is about how Africa gets out of this trap, and it comes down to 3 key pillars.
Getting from poor to not so poor is the easy part. The real challenge is getting from middle income to rich. Economists call this the middle income trap, and it's a graveyard for national ambitions. According to the World Bank, 108 countries were stuck in this trap at the end of 2023. Since 1990, only 34 countries have made the leap from middle income to high income status, and more than a third of those were either beneficiaries of joining the European Union or discovering massive oil reserves. For everyone else, it's a grind. This is the single biggest threat to Africa's rise. We've seen countries like Equatorial Guinea and Gabon achieve middle income status thanks to resource wealth, but then stagnate. They master the art of extraction, but not the art of sustainable development. Without a clear strategy to move up the value chain, you get stuck. And getting stuck is the new falling behind. So how do you escape the trap? The good news is, there's a playbook. The World Bank calls it the 3I strategy: investment, infusion, and innovation. And it's the path that almost every country that got rich in the 20th century followed. Look at South Korea. In 1960, its income per capita was just $158. Today, it's over $36,000. They started by focusing on investment, the first I. Then in the 1970s, they moved to infusion, the second I, encouraging companies like Samsung, which started as a trading company exporting produce, to license technology from Japanese firms to start manufacturing TVs. Finally, South Korea moved to innovation, the third I, becoming a global leader in their own right. This isn't a secret formula. Poland did it by infusing technology from Western Europe. Chile did it by adapting Norwegian salmon farming techniques. The playbook is clear. You don't get rich by just pulling resources out of the ground. You get rich by systematically climbing the technology ladder. This brings us to the most important point. Africa's journey to wealth won't be and shouldn't be a copy of the West. The world has changed. Industrialization as we knew it is over. The climate crisis means that the carbon-fueled growth that powered Europe and America is no longer an option. So what's the new playbook? It's about leapfrogging. It's using mobile technology to bypass the landline era. It's using decentralized solar grids to power communities without waiting for a national grid that may never come. It's using fintech to bank the unbanked overnight. And we have our own success stories. Seychelles is a high-income country, and Mauritius briefly achieved that status in 2020 before being reclassified as upper middle income. Botswana has been one of the world's fastest growing economies for decades by wisely managing its diamond wealth and investing in its people. These countries prove it can be done. So when will Africa be as rich as the West? The honest answer is, it's the wrong question. The right question is, how will Africa define and create its own prosperity in the 21st century? The journey will be long, and the challenges are immense. But for the first time in history, the tools, the technology, and the playbook are within reach. The future of African wealth won't be about catching up. It will be about building something new.
But this new playbook can't execute itself. It requires a specific type of leadership to drive it. And that raises the most critical question of all. Is the path forward through strongman rule or democratic consensus? I break down the data on that very topic in this episode right here. Click here to check it out.